Aid from Which Bike here. I am bringing you fun and action today from Track, TRAQ in Croydon. Fantastic resource for bikers and karters. Now this is part of the racing series whereby myself, Bicky and others will be going on pit bikes and full-size motorbikes on different tracks across the country or even around the world. Now this is my... I don't know what I'm doing there, what a knob. This is my third or fourth pit bike day, and as you saw in the title, I finally get my knee down. Thankfully there, bottom left, Bicky's on control of the drone, and we've got a camera on the bike and on the helmet to see my progression, how I got to finally getting my knee down and that boost of confidence I need, which I can take on two big boy tracks, because there's really nothing between the two. You're just going faster on a bigger bike. So this is my starting off kind of sessions, and you can see I'm somewhat cagey and reticent. For the first few laps of your like 20 or 30 lap session, you've got to warm those tyres up like with any sort of motorcycle. Plus I'm stiff, of course. Now on these pit bikes, the fundamentals are exactly the same as taking a Fireblade or a 600 out on a bona fide racetrack. The technique is identical. The level of confidence you need to have to go through corners quickly is identical. You'll very much see me being slightly tentative, not leaning over too much, but the basics are the same. Got to look where you're going, look where you want to be around that bend. You've got to point your chin out and low, point your right elbow out and drag your left arm across the tank. You get your ass right over, not just at the middle of your bum cheek on the edge of the seat, further than that, and have your foot pivoted so your heels towards the engine and your knees out at a right angle, and you lean over, and you've got some slight counter steer pushing on the inside bar, or it will do that automatically if you don't have to think about it. That is the theory, and that's what you should do. However, as you can see here, I'm quite tentative. I'm nowhere near getting off the bike enough. I'm not using my arms, a bit better there, to lean across that bike. I'm not using the weight of my head to the right hand side of my body. I'm not putting my elbow out to the right, and I'm certainly not leaning the bike over. But it's all about trust and confidence, and you get this with experience. You're not going to get on a bike and suddenly be able to put your knee down, because it takes a huge leap of faith. And it's took me until now to finally let that happen. And my first knee down experience is coming up soon. Now, I was tremendously helped by Alex from Rent a Pit Bike. Go along one of their organised days, you get the pit bike and your liability insurance all covered in the one. And get tuition from Alex. He'll stand by the side of the track and observe you. He will also go round with you in front and behind, seeing what you're doing, seeing what can be improved. That made a huge difference to me. As you'll see a bit later, I'll be kind of following him and he's helping me. Every time I come in after a session, he's explaining what I can do more of to get over that fear factor. You're not going to be able to lean over and put your knee down unless you get all those factors in place. That arse position, that smooth body movement from the seat over to the side, that left, if you're going to the right, your left elbow almost leaning over the tank, your right elbow going out, holding the grip on the right very gently, and letting the bike then start to tip over, and your head's obviously going to be right over that side to maximise it. So here I am behind Alex, and he's showing me, I mean the lines are pretty much a dead cert, except here I tend to go in too narrow, and are still too narrow. You're supposed to go on a wider arc to maximise your in-speed and out-speed. Down here should be third gear, brake, go down to second here, keep it in second, around here, around the next. This is the transition from turning to the right to turning to the left. That's the only one on this track, this way round. Okay, here we go, knee down time. So yeah, overjoyed. Colour me overjoyed. Fantastic. It's a real, it's one of the tick boxes you do. It's not the end of the world. You don't actually have to get your knee down to go around fast around a track, but it does feel good. And once and now I've got that confidence, it should be better moving forward. But you can see from that last bit how much faster and smoother I was around the track. It's not just getting the components right. You've got to be smooth in those transitions. Especially on these lightweight, fidgety pit bikes. So it's important to have that smoothness. And this is a great way to learn before you go on a big boys track. You can see here I'm definitely turning more into the bends. You can see the way I'm going. I'm certainly getting my vision right, and I'm leaving over somewhat more, but I could still do a lot more. Now on a full-sized motorcycle, you just take this technique and lean over a bit more of your body, and you can adjust your kind of angle of attack by how much you lean over, and suddenly things become a bit simpler. Leave you with more front-facing footage when we ran around the circuit the other way. Now this was brilliant, especially for me. I was knackered going around the circuit the one way. My right knee and shoulder and wrist were getting a hammering. But going this way around, you're now using the left for all the turns apart from this one. And weirdly, I couldn't get my knee down this one. But the rest of them I was mostly getting my knee down because my confidence level was there. But yeah, it's really interesting, and it's a brilliant idea to go around a track a different way. It makes a huge difference. So that's it really. I'll call it quits. Coming up is Bicky having a little improvement session with Alex. Keep an eye out for that.